So I was sitting here editing, well not here but there, and it occurred to me that this video is going to be very long. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to split it into two parts. There'll be part one, part two. The first part is going to be going down the beach and looking for the abalones, or ormers as we call them here. The second part will be the end of that, looking for the abalones and cooking them from a recipe which is basically handed down to me from my great grandparents, and I think a lot of people in Guernsey do something very similar as well. So that might be of interest to some people. And I will put a link in the bottom of this video for the next video, but obviously it'll be a couple of days till I put that link in. So if you're watching it as soon as it's uploaded, it won't be there yet. But the other video will be coming out within 2 days. And right now I'm going to have a look at these. This is my new waders, which I bought today because we're going on a little mission, because my other ones developed a leak. So hopefully these will be fine and I won't get wet. So enjoy. So today we're on a mission. We're heading down the beach on the big tide. Now I wasn't going to go today, I was going to go tomorrow, but apparently there's a force 6 and a lot of rain coming. So we're going to go today instead. It's not a very big tide, but the weather's nice. So that'll make a difference as well. With the bad weather, it'll keep the tides probably higher. So it might not be, it'll probably be the same as tomorrow, we could say, with the tides. Anyway, just come down to empty the boat out, and then we're going to head off down the beach, and we're going to be looking for the abalones, or the ormers as we call them here. And hopefully we'll find some. So we'll see you down there. Well, we've arrived, and at the moment it doesn't seem like there's anybody down here. The tide does seem to be going a fair distance, to be fair. Further than I thought it was going to go. So, must be the pressure's up and that. Now, there's nobody around, and I'm assuming that they're going to go on the bigger tides, which is going to be tomorrow and the next day. We might go on the last day. We'll see how we get on. We'll see what the weather does. Tomorrow, like I say, it's supposed to be bad, but the biggest tide, which is going down another ½ a metre on that day, or round about ½ a metre, might be worth coming down again. We'll see how we get on today. And look, golf ball. You find a lot of golf balls on the beaches around here. I think people stand on the headland whacking them into the sea. Yeah, this might work to our advantage. If everybody else is going to go on the bigger tides, and we're going to take the smaller ones, because quite often everybody rushes to the water's edge, but you'll find them much higher up than that. Now, the only thing that worries me is when you don't see people around, you think, is it the right tide? But I definitely checked it several times over with the tide tables. Checked the date, make sure I was on the right day. But it's always in the back of your mind that maybe you've got the wrong day. Well, I hope not, because I'll be in trouble if I have. But no, I'm certain I haven't. I mean, like I say, I've checked it about 3 times before I know. So you can check under rocks even high up the beach like this. I mean, the odds of finding something aren't great, but you never know. Mind you, there might have been some people come down the last tide. I don't know how many people went on that tide. Always try and tip your rocks back where you can. It's not always possible. Obviously, if you get a big rock rolls over at a funny angle, you won't get it back. And some of the tiny stones, I mean, tip them back, but in all honesty, those ones will get flipped in storms anyway, the mini stones. But anything else, get it back over. I have noticed in the last few years more people turning the stones back, but there's always one or two that storm through and just leave everything unturned. One Ormer trip I did, I went down the beach, I turned some stones, turned them back. When I went back up the beach, all the stones that I'd already looked under, some of them, the whole lot was turned over. Nothing had been turned back. All with tiny little young abalone drying out in the sun. And that's why, partly why, you want to get the rocks back. Nothing over that one. And here's an area here where you can see they've turned. You can see by the white, that's the rocks that didn't go back over. To be fair, I've seen it a lot worse than this. It's not bad. whether it's worth looking at. It normally is, because people sometimes skip through areas and don't look properly. So. We'll look for signs. If we don't see any signs, then we'll move on. Normally where you find one, you'll find several, so that's what we're looking for, finding the one or two. Not always, but they do tend to group together. I'm going to try and pick the smaller stones, because it's possible a lot of people always go for the big stones, and also if they were in the water, because you're allowed to go in the water, you're not allowed to dive, but you can wade into the water. If they've waded in the water, then they might not be able to see a lot of the stones as well, if the water was murky or too deep. Not a single one so far. Not looking good. I'll keep looking. No, we're not finding much. I think I might have a leak in my waders. That's not going to be fun. Just have to try and stay out of the water most of the time. Now, years ago I used to come down in a pair of baseball boots and a pair of jeans and just go up to my waist in the water. Then I discovered waders. They made such a difference. When you keep dry, you keep warm. Although today's not bad, but I have been down. I think the worst I ever went in was -2 and it was snowing. That wasn't fun, I can tell you that. Turned the camera off, flipped a rock, and there was one, look, right there. So, I think this is probably going to be just about size. I'll take it off, because I'm going to turn the rock back anyway. Okay. Take that off. Right. So what you do is you get your trusty gauge, which is I always keep on my hook, and basically it's the length of the shell. I don't know if you can see that there, but that is actually size. It's only just in by about a cent. It's about a cent. No, actually, it's about a centimetre in. So that is a legal ormer. So we can take that one. Put the rock back again. I wondered on this spot because you'll see there's a few stones have been turned here. So somebody paid a little bit more attention here. And if they were paying a bit more attention, they probably found one or two. So they pulled a few more stones. Right, get our carrier bag. Pop our ormer in there. So, we're off. Now, we're going to concentrate on this area a little bit more around here, because like I say, when you find one, quite often you'll find others. Right. What we will do though is start at one point and work our way around so we don't get confused on what we've turned back, or what we've turned and what we haven't turned. So I did those. Maybe this one. Another one there, look. I think that one might be under. I'll check it. Oh, actually no, it's got a long shell. That'll be over. Yep, that's over. And as you'll see, we had that one there. We had the other one just over there. Nothing under that one. Like I said, the ormers this high up probably won't be that big unless they've been missed. There's a baby one right there. Put that back carefully. Make sure we don't land on it. Okay. Yeah, they're usually smaller up here because obviously they're ormers that are just oversized, and each year they make the size limit, or some make the size limit. just show you this. This is another type of crab. I call it a walnut, or my friend and I would call it walnut crab. It looks like a walnut, but bit of an ugly spud, that one. But they don't get that big. Size of a normal small crab, like about this big. So you get a few starfish types as well, little small ones. You get a lot of these, they're quite stiff little starfish. You'll probably find there's ormers under rocks like this. This is why we have the hook, so you can feel underneath, but I tend to just push under, see if I can feel one first before I attempt to get in there with a hand or something like that. Also, when you're checking under rocks like this, shoving your hand under, you get a big conger eel living under there. You want to watch out for that, do you some damage if it wanted to. And also we get the shanker crab as well, the big brown crab, and they have incredible crushing power. And if they get hold of your fingers, they can do some damage, but worse than that, what they can do is they can actually stand up, and they're that strong they can actually hold your hand trapped there. I believe somebody over here years ago had their hand trapped in a hole. I believe the fire brigade came down a long time ago and smashed the crab out the hole before the guy obviously drowned with his hand trapped in a hole. So always check what's in the hole before you start sticking your hand in there. You'll get an idea of what's in there. There's actually a wrasse down there. It's got a parasite. I don't think I'll get the parasite off. You see it's like a cork wing just there. If you can see on that rock there, I believe that's whelk eggs. Those ones, little shellfish. I will show you a whelk if I find there's one there. These are little dog whelks. They actually bore holes into the limpets for these ones that attach themselves to the rocks here. They drill a hole, they turn the inside to soup a bit like a spider, and then suck out the inside with this proboscis thing that pokes into the shell. There's a baby one there, just on the corner here. Nothing into that. Apart from, there's the brown crab, small one. So you get a lot of these under the rocks, the small ones. Just put it to the side so I don't crush it. There's still a lot of rocks that have been turned here. That surprises me. I wouldn't have thought the water had gone that far last time. There we go. That'll be size, I think, just over. Now these do grow up to, well, the biggest I've had I think is 13.5, but you could say they grow up to sort of probably up to 14 centimetres, the ormers. Now, you don't often get them that big, because what happens is they have a sponge which attacks the shell, and it eats away at the shell and eventually kills the ormer. So, you do find them sort of up to, I'd say 12 centimetres, 12.5, if the tide goes down far enough and you can get to some of the older ones that haven't been touched. Because like I say, you're only allowed to gather them like this on certain days and not diving or anything like that. Because they used to die from years ago and they almost wiped them out. these beaches had as many ormers on as they had limpets. But people went mad, divers went down, bringing up sacks loads, exporting them to God knows where, and pretty much in a very short period of time made them almost extinct. I used to go, when was it, back in the 80s, when I was a small child with my parents, and I mean a good day was 3 ormers. They have recovered quite a bit. Last couple of years haven't been so good, but like I say, I don't know if that's just because so many people have been going. Because years ago when you used to go, you used to see sort of half a dozen people. Now when you go sometimes, you see like 20, 30, 40, 50 people on the beach. But looking at it another way, once they drop away and there's not so many and it becomes more hard work to find them again, you'll find that people will probably not go again. And we're going to take a gamble in a while, and we're going to head to a further out position. Now that place, some years it's really good, other years it's terrible. You can never gauge it. It just changes every year. And I mean, it's not like you just get a few either. Quite often it's either 1 or nothing, or you might get 20. That's the gamble with it. I mean, with this fine weather we've had this summer, the ormers should be doing well. They should be breeding well, as they're more warm water than cold water. That's why they exist here, and as far as I'm aware, they don't exist in the UK or the UK coastline. Plus we've got the Gulf Stream, which comes up to us, quite close to us. You never know, a few years you might start collecting abalone or green ormers down UK beaches. As long as you don't make the mistake we made years ago by stripping out everything you can get those rules in place straight away and protect them, and just take a little bit, you know. Right, just found a little baby one here, so I'll switch on and we'll see if we can find the big ones. Baby one's just under this small stone here. Right there. Put him back. Oh, there we go. This might be under. Oh, that one's close to cool. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. I mean, you could say that was on, you could also say it wasn't. It's literally touching the gauge, so I'm going to leave this one. There's no point in taking it. There's no more on these rocks. Now I'm going to make it obvious that I've moved these rocks, and then I'll put it back. And hopefully somebody else won't come along and think, oh, that size, I'll take that. Yeah, I noticed there was quite a lot, you see a lot of stones here have been turned, not turned back, so somebody got too excited, started yanking all the rocks over, so assuming there's more around here. If I can find rocks that haven't been turned, of course. Go with some small rocks. Oh. You have to excuse the camera angles, I do have to. It's not easy filming this on your own, and there's no point setting the tripod up because we're going to be moving quite a distance. The joys of filming when you're on your own. Oh, look at that one. That is a huge one. Look at the size of this one. That's a good 10 centimetre, that one. Excellent. That one's going straight in my bag. That's the size we want. Well, a couple of guys coming down the beach now. I can see this way. I think I'm going to leave this spot. I mean, I know we found that one, but I can always check this spot on the way back. I want to get to that other mark just to see what if there's much happening there or not. I've got another one on the way. Just flipped a rock. I wasn't going to flip this rock. I thought it's bound to have been lifted, but no, it's got an ormer under it. Yeah, it's fractionally under, so I'm going to put that back. I'm not going to risk that. So you'll see here, I'm finding a few small ones. There's one there, just under the water, and there's two down here, one under the water, one there. But they're only tiddlers, so rocks have got to go back carefully. Let me just check under this small rock. Okay. So this is the top knot. They live under the rocks upside down, and when they get big enough you can eat them. Well, when they're big. I've had them £1.5. I've had some pretty big ones before. They also eat little green rockfish. If you ever got one, you'll find these little tiny green rockfish that live in the rocks. So they're quite a voracious predator for small fish. Anyway, I'm going to put this rock back and let them go. There we go. Sea life, big starfish, the enemy of the ormer. And right near it was an ormer, little one. I think I'm going to move the starfish a bit further away. I know he eats his dinner, but I have to work a little bit hard for it. There we go. Haha! I just found one. Yep, that is legal. But these two guys that are heading over, I know them. Alright. Haven't any luck yet?
I haven't, no.
Nah.
And you?
4 from up there. I've just found one just oversized here.
Oh yeah.
But that's been it so far. Everything's turned again. I wasn't expecting all this to be turned. I thought it was underwater last time. But a lot of babies down here, but yeah.
How's the fishing going as well, Troy?
Yeah, it's not bad, not bad. It sort of goes up and down really. 1 minute you're catching absolutely nothing, another time you go out and get 6 bass or something. And you?
I don't do a lot.
Nah.
I know you chat, my nipper chats to you online or something.
Right.
Daniel, my nipper Daniel,
Right.
and that, he said you could shot little videos and that.
I was going to go tomorrow, but when I saw the weather, I thought I think I'll go today instead, and I might go the last day. Oh, there's one. Yeah, that pressure's going to go wrong, eh?
A bit more, but you know, another one.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a few here, eh?
Yeah. This one's really in. Better check him, he's close, you know. Yeah, he's size. Right, right. Yeah, it needs to. Everything's white. Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. I was surprised everything's so white considering how small the last tide was. Hold on though. They're still here.
Yeah, that's a buster.
Yeah. You've got to just pick out those odd stones that have been missed. So while I was chatting to some fishermen, I pulled a rock up and got this huge one. That's our biggest today. And a couple of other ones that size as well. In our bag. A lot of them have gone over there, so I've come over this way, so we're not all crowded in one area. And we'll take a look. Well, there's a beauty. Absolute crack of that one. Yeah. Lovely job, lovely orange one that. We'll go in our bag. Right, let me just turn a few more of these and I'll flip those back. Sometimes you get rocks under rocks and you'll find ormers down there as well. Right. There's a good one on this rock here. Lovely. And don't need okay. It's worth lifting. Closer look. It's actually, I don't know if you can see that over there, that crevice here. I'll try and knock it off. That's actually not a babe, that's a big one. There we go. Right in that crevice down there. And not just under the rocks, they hide as well in crevices. That size. Check there's no more. Sometimes you get more together in the same hole. I remember years ago, I looked in this hole. My dad looked in this hole. And we had nothing. Then my mother comes along, hooks out about a dozen ormers. She was a demon with one of these ormering hooks, and getting into the crevices and getting ormers out of the crevices. Whereas I used to just sort of lift a lot of rocks, but it takes a while for the skill to develop with the hook. So I was only young then. And there's a good one. Nice. Right. If there's any down under there, I might lift this. I wasn't going to lift this one because it's in the sand, but I'll have a lift. Sometimes you get hollows under them, even in the sand. Not that time. Right. Look what was under that rock. Baby lobster. I'll put him back. Another top knot, quite a big one. Oh, yeah, quite a big top knot, that one. As big as they do get. Pretty big. And no worms. Okay, move on. A bit tricky here because the water's very murky. It gets very silty when the tide drops a long way. But we will keep looking. Sea urchin. Gotta watch your fingers on those, that's why I wear gloves. There's the big one. The bigger. Yep. Good. Actually, I've just seen one on the rock where I turned it. I didn't check the very bottom edge. And look what was there. I need to pay more attention. Yep, that size as well. Yep, there's one under there. That's going to be the problem. Right, now we're going to do this. Now, where is it? There. That's it, just that one.
Normally go to the old man, you always go to the Fraser.
Yeah, on this tide though. There's a couple here, but I don't think they're going to be size. Yeah, that one I think is just about under, and that one. That one just makes it. there's a decent one. Finally. Right, so I've just come up the beach, across from the other side, should I say. I've been finding a few ormers. I just stopped up here because I know there's a lobster hole here. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any lobster in it, but there is a dead lobster shell on the outside that was cast off, so it might have changed its shell. But quite often this rock here has a lobster in it, but not today, and if it has got one, it's probably soft, so because of that. So I'm going to leave it. But, my camera went dead, but I was catching, and I wanted to get that area done because the tide is starting to come in, but we'll start heading up, as you can see. We're doing okay. They're not massive. We have some big ones in there, but we're doing okay. Right.